Okay, let's dive right in. We're heading to Northeast India today to talk about something really troubling, the crisis that's unfolding in Meghalaya.
So, when you think of Meghalaya, you probably think of its unique matrilineal society, right? A place where everything, lineage, inheritance, is all traced through the women. It sounds like a place that would be a safe haven. But, and this is the big question we're tackling, why is it that in a society built around women, they and their children are now in such terrible danger?
To really get a handle on this, we've got to break it down. We're going to look at this huge, jarring gap between what everyone thinks Meghalaya is and the brutal reality that people are facing every single day.
All right, so let's be clear on what we mean by matrilineal. In its simplest terms, it means family lines and property, all of it, passes down from mother to daughter. It's a really unique setup, and for a long time, it's given Meghalaya this reputation, this image of being a sanctuary, a place where women are respected and safe. But that image, it's completely shattering. I mean, we're talking about a horrifying spike in brutal, violent crimes against women and kids that's just exposing a much, much darker truth. It's like the ideal is crashing head-on into a violent reality, and it's left the people there living in a constant state of fear. And look, this isn't just a handful of random, isolated incidents. No, this points to something much bigger, a complete systemic failure. So now we've got to dig into how the very systems that are supposed to protect people are breaking down. So you have to ask, right? What is the real root cause of all this fear? Where exactly is the system failing so badly? How does a society famous for putting women at its center become one of the most dangerous places for them? And this is where it gets really stark, You have the expectation what should be happening, proactive, effective policing. But then you have the reality, which is honestly a deep-rooted failure in governance in the entire law and order system. It's just not working. So, where are the cracks in the system? Well, the source material points to a few huge gaps. For starters, there's a serious lack of preventive policing. They're always reacting to crime, not stopping it before it happens. Then there's poor intelligence gathering, which means they're constantly one step behind. And what happens when that's the case? Trust in the community just dissolves. To top it all off, they have technology like CCTV and command centers, but they aren't even using it effectively. You put all that together, and you've created a perfect storm where criminals feel like they can get away with anything. Okay, so the system on the ground is failing. But what about the folks in charge, the official response? Well, that leads us right into a whole other crisis, a crisis of accountability. Get this. Instead of stepping up and taking action, senior government officials have been making what are being called irresponsible and insensitive statements. They've actually suggested that parents are to blame. I mean, can you believe that? They're essentially victim blaming, pointing the finger at the very families who are suffering.
And let's be real, this isn't just a slip of the tongue. It's a deliberate way to deflect responsibility. When the people in charge are busy pointing fingers instead of finding solutions, it sends a really loud and clear message. They are not taking this crisis seriously, not with the urgency it absolutely deserves.
But you know what? In the middle of all this fear and frustration, people are starting to speak up. There's a growing call for real action. So let's pivot and look at the path forward, at what people on the ground are demanding.
And the solutions being put on the table are super clear and practical. Number 1, demand fast-track courts for these cases so justice isn't delayed. Number 2, advocate for mandatory gender sensitization training for every single police officer. This is crucial for tackling deep-seated biases. Number 3, push for genuine community policing models that can actually rebuild that shattered trust. And finally, number 4, support the NGOs, the ones who are really on the front lines helping victims when the system just isn't.
So here's where we land. The people of Meghalaya are done being silent. They are demanding accountability. They are demanding real systemic change. And that leaves us with the big, critical question for the future of the state. When a system is this broken, can it actually be fixed?